The morning started like any other in the quiet suburbs of Maplewood, where the wind carried the soft chatter of school buses and the distant hum of parents rushing to work. But inside room 214 at Willow Creek High School, something was different, though none of the students knew it yet. Their teacher, Ms. Riley Andrews, had been planning something for weeks, and today was the day she would reveal it. What she didn't expect was that her small act of heart would explode across the internet, touching millions of strangers who needed the reminder that kindness still existed. The bell rang, and students dragged their feet into class, backpacks low, eyes tired. It was the last month before summer break, and energy was running thin. Some students were excited, some stressed, and a few, like quiet, soft-spoken Mateo, were holding onto burdens no teacher could see. Or at least that's what he believed. But Ms. Riley noticed everything. She always did. She walked into the classroom carrying a large cardboard box, taped shut with no labels. Students looked up for a moment, curious, then returned to their conversations. She set the box on her desk, hands dusting off the little flakes of cardboard, and cleared her throat. "Good morning, everyone," she said with a smile that looked slightly too bright, like she was trying to hide her excitement. A few students mumbled greetings. One or two raised their hands lazily. But she didn't mind. She had taught teenagers long enough to know that their sleepy greetings were also affection. They just came in a different shape. "Before we start today," she continued, "I want to talk to you about something important." Now the class shifted. Phones lowered. Chairs creaked. Even the students in the back row, who always pretended not to care, leaned forward slightly. "I've watched all of you grow this year. You're hardworking, creative, funny, resilient. But I also know," she said, glancing around gently, "that this year hasn't been easy for everyone. Some of you have been dealing with things at home. Some of you have been juggling jobs after school. Some of you have been taking care of siblings, and some of you have been trying to carry everything by yourselves." She didn't mention Mateo's name, but he felt his breath catch. His part-time job at the grocery store had taken over most of his evenings. His mom's medical bills were piling up. He had stopped raising his hand in class weeks ago. He shrank into his seat now, wondering if she had somehow read his mind. "Which is why," she said, placing her hand on the box, "I decided to do something for all of you." She pulled off the tape in one quick motion. The box opened like a curtain, revealing the first moment of a show. Every student's eyes locked on it. Inside were dozens of envelopes, bright blue, neatly sealed, each with a student's name written in gold ink. "What is that?" whispered Sarah, the class artist. "Are we getting invitations?" joked Devon. "Is this a prank?" asked someone from the back. Ms. Riley shook her head. "No prank. These are for each of you, a gift." Students stared, exchanging confused looks. She began calling names one by one. Each student walked up, accepted their envelope, and returned to their seat. Some held it carefully, others tore it open immediately. And then the room fell silent, completely silent. Inside each envelope was a handwritten letter, personalized and deeply thoughtful. Some letters acknowledged a student's biggest struggle. Some celebrated their strengths. Some apologized for moments Ms. Riley felt she hadn't supported them enough. And tucked behind each letter was a small card, a prepaid gift card. $25. Not much to most adults, but to a teenager who rarely received anything for themselves, it was everything. Mateo held his envelope without opening it at first. His fingers shook as he broke the seal. The moment he unfolded the paper, he recognized her handwriting. It felt strange, like reading someone else's heart. "Mateo," the letter began, "I see how hard you work even on the days when you're exhausted. You always show up with kindness. You help others even when you're struggling. I want you to know that your efforts don't go unnoticed. You matter, you are capable, and you deserve good things even if life hasn't given them freely. Use this gift card for something you want, not bills, not responsibilities, something that makes you happy." He blinked hard. His throat tightened. No one had said something like that to him in years, not even at home. Around him, other students were reacting too. A tough-looking athlete wiped his eyes when he thought no one saw. A quiet girl who rarely spoke smiled so brightly, it changed her entire face. A few students gasped when they realized the letters mentioned things they'd never shared out loud. But somehow, Ms. Riley had understood anyway. Why did you do this?" asked one student, voice shaky. She smiled softly. "Because you're worth it, every one of you." Someone whispered, "This is crazy, no teacher does this." But Ms. Riley wasn't finished. "There's more," she said, pulling out a second, much smaller box from beneath her desk. "You know how our school always ends the year with a final exam, the test that stresses everyone out?" Groans filled the room. "Well," she continued, "I talked to the administration, and I got permission to cancel it." The class erupted. "What? Are you serious?" "That's impossible." "No final." Ms. Riley nodded. "Instead of an exam, your final grade will come from a simple project. Do something kind for someone, anyone, and document it. Not for likes, not for views, just to create a ripple. Kindness is worth more than a test score." Students exchanged shocked looks, then smiles. Real smiles. It felt like someone had lifted an invisible weight from their shoulders. And then, without warning, someone in the front row recorded a short video of Ms. Riley explaining the project. They posted it on social media with the caption, "Our teacher just surprised the whole class with personalized letters, gift cards, and canceled our final. Kindness still exists." None of them expected what happened next. That video blew up overnight. Hundreds of thousands of views, then millions. News reporters tried to reach the school. Strangers around the country stitched the video, crying, calling it the teacher every kid deserves. People shared their own stories of life-changing teachers. Donations started pouring into the school district with messages like, "Give this to Ms. Riley's class," and "For more acts of kindness." A parent called the school saying, "I want to meet the teacher who reminded the world there's still good left." By day 3, every student in room 214 had become part of a global conversation. Some internet users recreated the assignment and did kindness challenges in their own cities. Others said they were inspired to write letters to teachers who had helped them long ago. Even celebrities reshared the clip, praising the way Ms. Riley had reached her students. But inside the classroom, away from the noise of fame, something more important was happening. The students actually started doing kind things. They helped elderly neighbors with groceries, bought lunch for classmates who forgot their wallets, wrote appreciation notes to cafeteria workers, donated books, tutored younger students. One kid even adopted a shelter dog and named him Riley. Mateo, after thinking for days, decided to use his gift card to buy art supplies for his little sister, because she had been wanting them for months. And then he spent the rest of the week helping neighbors wash their cars for free. When he told Ms. Riley about it, he expected a simple smile. Instead, she hugged him, something she had never done before. "I'm proud of you," she whispered. For the first time in a long time, he believed it. Weeks passed, and the world eventually moved on to other viral stories. But the impact stayed, not because it was trending, but because the students couldn't unlearn what it felt like to receive kindness and then give it. On the last day of school, the class surprised Ms. Riley. They decorated the room, wrote their own heartfelt letters, and pooled together small gifts. Nothing expensive, just things that represented the difference she made in their lives. A keychain with a quote, a drawing of her, a notebook filled with thank you notes, a bracelet with the word hope. When she walked in, she froze. Her hand covered her mouth, her eyes filled instantly. "You didn't have to," she whispered. One student stepped forward. "No," he said, "but we wanted to because you started it, because you saw us even when we didn't see ourselves." The class nodded in agreement. "Ms. Riley," said another student, "your kindness broke the internet, but it fixed something in here too." He pointed to his chest. She wiped her tears and laughed softly. "I didn't fix anything. I just reminded you who you already were." There was a long, warm silence. A silence that carried gratitude, love, and the kind of connection that only a teacher and her students can understand. After the summer ended, the viral video resurfaced every few months, whenever someone needed hope, a reminder, or just a moment to believe in people again. Comments kept appearing. This teacher healed something in me. I wish I had a Ms. Riley. This made me cry for real. Humanity isn't lost. But the students who lived it didn't care about the fame anymore. What stayed with them were the feelings, the lessons, the moments that shaped them long after graduation. Years later, some of them would become parents, nurses, engineers, artists. And they would still remember the day their teacher told them they mattered and proved it with action. Mateo went on to college with a scholarship he never thought he'd earn. On his first day, he taped that old letter, now slightly wrinkled, inside his dorm closet. Whenever things felt overwhelming, he read it again, and again, and again. Kindness didn't just break the internet. It broke open hearts. It broke cycles of doubt. It broke the walls students had built to survive. And it rebuilt something more powerful. Something lasting. All because one teacher decided that her students deserved to feel seen. And in that single moment, without expecting anything in return, she changed the world. One letter, one student, one act of kindness at a time.